Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Actually, this video is from Gweilo 60 and Alex Absolute. It's going to be a two-part, and we're going to be talking about when two worlds collide. And what I mean by that, what we mean by that, is what happened when we actually married Chinese women. Before I even get started on this video, I want you guys to go over to Alex Absolute's channel and pound that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the bell, show him some love. This guy does excellent videos. His camera skills are better than most people. So show him some love, guys. Go over there and subscribe. You think that moving to another country has conflict or cultural differences? Wait till you're married to somebody that comes from a different culture, different ancestral background, different customs, different foods, different languages, different everything. Like seriously, everything was different. When I met my wife in 2003, I had no idea how it was going to change my life. My life has changed 100% compared to what it was back in 2003. You got to understand, I grew up in a village in northern Saskatchewan, Weldon, Saskatchewan. 250 people lived in Weldon, Saskatchewan, where I grew up. I spent most of my life in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, a city of under 40,000 people. Now I live in Nanning, China, 7.5 million people, and very few of these people actually speak English. The food that I eat is different. The culture is different. The superstitions, the religions, the way people dress, the way people act, their humor is different. So my world has changed dramatically because I married a Chinese girl.
Right, so exactly the same as Kirk, my life has changed a lot. Like, since coming here, it has changed phenomenally. It's not just like me. I mean, I've changed as a person, but also like, just my daily life, the things I interact with, the people I see. Now, I speak Chinese. I'm speaking Chinese 50%, if not 75% of my day. And, I eat a lot of things. There's a lot of things which have changed. My diet has changed. My view on, a lot of different things has changed. Just the way I drive on the other side of the road now. There has been a lot of change. And just like Kirk, I came from, I've always lived in the country. Like in England, everybody wants to live in the country, and I lived in the country. I lived in a village where the roads were about 1.5 cars wide, where you'd regularly get stopped by herds of cows as you were trying to drive out and to your job in the morning or something like that. And coming to here, you can't see it now because if you look around, I am in the wetlands, which is wonderfully peaceful and wonderfully quiet. My house is just over here. We're kind of, I guess, in like a midsection of like the edge of the main downtown area of the city, but there's a lot of city which still continues over this way. Anyway, going from living in like a country environment to an environment where it's very much like, it's a big city. Or, as in China terms, they call it a small city because it's got 9.6 million people. And that includes the counties, by the way, not just the main CBD area. But it's a lot bigger than most of the cities in England. And for me, going from village life and sort of a lot smaller cities to coming here was a massive shock to the system.
I had no idea what was in store for me and how it would change my entire life. I no longer live in Canada. I no longer have cold winters, which is a good thing. One of the biggest things that changed in my life was my understanding of business. I worked for somebody else when I met my wife. 10 months later, I wasn't working for somebody else. I was working for myself. Chinese people want to run their own business. I had no idea that I would be running my own business 10 months after meeting Wei Feng. 9.5 months after getting married to Wei Feng. And as anything else, one thing leads to another that leads to another. As I say, I now live in China. We do have a home in Canada, but we spend all of our time in China. Just the things that I've learned in China, the lifestyle that I live in China is not only interesting to myself, but interesting to people out in the world. So I picked up a camera and started a YouTube channel. When I did that, I caught the eye of certain media groups here in China, and we go on trips all over Guangxi Autonomous Region, not only just in Guangxi Autonomous Region, but we were up in Chongqing a couple times already. We're up to Xi'an. See, the idea that a foreigner lives in China for so long is interesting not only to YouTubers out there in YouTube land, but it's interesting to the Chinese people in China how we perceive their world. So my world changed to what it is now because I met my wife, Wei Fong.
And as you probably guessed, I also changed, like a big change of mine was the language. Like I came here for the first year and a half. I didn't speak any, but it's probably the first year. I didn't really speak any Chinese because I was just kind of getting used to China, settling in, finding my feet. It was kind of crazy because I chose China primarily because it was going to be completely different. I funnily enough got a job to start with because the story of me coming to China is that I was sat at home bored. I had a good job. I had a successful career. I used to DJ and produce music for some big labels. I'll link one up here if you want. It's produced by me. Sold a lot of copies on Bonkers, a hardcore album. Anyway, I digress. So I was doing pretty well, but I was bored with life in the UK. I just wanted to, initially, I was trying to find anywhere. Just like, I think I like to move in to see some of my family in South Africa. I got offered a job in Canada because I'm a big snowboarder, or I used to be until I moved to China. And I wanted to go and be near Whistler, which is a super dope snowboarding location in Canada. I found a job, but it was only working in a rock wool factory, driving a forklift. But I was like, I could probably move over there and just settle down and do that. Then I found the job in China completely by chance, and after it being kind of too easy to start with, I thought it was a scam because it seemed too easy. The job interview was way too easy. But yeah, I chose China basically because I thought it would be as far as you could possibly get almost from Western culture. And I thought, you know what? Things in life, you can try them. And if they don't work out, you can always just go home. I was like, if I try it, if I don't like it, I can just fly home. So yeah. I tried it, and on about the third day here, I was like, this is fantastic. I absolutely love this. And I haven't really looked back. I've been back to England 2 times. I've been back to South Africa once. And other than that, I think I've left and gone to France to see family friends over in France in like 2018, I think it was. Yeah, 2019, sorry. There we go. But I haven't actually been back a lot.
In the Canadian world of food, steak, hamburgers, hot dogs, chili, pizza, all of these things that they basically don't have here in China, unless you want to go have a Rotten Ronnie burger, but nobody eats that stuff. Well, some people do, but I don't. So I had to learn to eat their cuisine, and it's not Chinese food like you guys have in the West. It's barbecued duck, sao tan, it's a sausage, cha sao, it's the closest thing to ham I can come to. You've got boiled chicken, you've got fatty pork koro, you've got rice at every meal. I had to learn to embrace rice at every meal. That was a tough one because I'm just not a rice lover.
Yeah, so the food for me was also a big change. It wasn't that unhealthy or anything like that. We just eat a lot of different things like casseroles and stews. There's a lot more roast stuff. In England, I find we use the oven for like a huge amount compared to here where they almost use it for nothing. Like they have these toaster ovens. Like the toaster ovens were the biggest disappointment here when I got here because I wanted to have an oven. And actually when I bought my house, I insisted that we bought a proper like a foreign style oven, I call it, because it's like a big one that's built in our kitchen. So now we actually can get back to doing a lot of the Western cooking that I was unable to because the toaster ovens aren't really that good. But yeah, there's a lot of food changes for me. I used to love fish. But in England, fish is very much like baby fed, kind of like they help you a lot. They take out all the bones and you can buy a lot of fish that's always much easier prepared. So I had to learn to like a lot of seafoods. And in fact, some of them I still resist. Lots of fish that involves eating with like lots of little bones and stuff, not so fond of. But then again, there is some stuff like guohasia is a local dish here, and it is, the Chinese is jiangxiesheng. So it's like raw crab, basically, with like ginger, vinegar, and some other spices and like sauces over the top of it. It's super nice. In fact, I find it much more convenient than eating normal crab because you don't have to pick around in all the little bits of like the shell and stuff. You just kind of suck the meat straight out of it because it's raw. So yeah, food for me changed a lot.
That's another video from Gweilo 60 and Alex Absolute, because he's going to be sticking his 2 cents worth in throughout these videos also. Whatever you do, after this video, you go over and you watch the second part of the video on Alex's channel, and when you're over there, make sure you subscribe to his channel, make a comment, hit the like button, hit the bell, do all of the things that you should do. And don't forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. Thanks for watching. Bye now.